Okay, so being that this is a meeting for KHM, to kind of introduce y'all to it and people who may be interested in it, there's some prerequisites, and hopefully everybody in here can check these boxes. All right, so the first thing is you identify as an Israelite. It should be very simple based on what y'all saying. Second thing is you practice Torah, King Khan. All right, and you're proactive. Okay, all right. So that's it. Very simple, right? So let me go over the mission statement, all right? So we are a ministry organization charged with being a herald for the kingdom of Yah to come. Harbingers go before a king on army to announce their arrival and make lodgings for their arrival. We are bringing awareness of Yah to our community and preparing them to be received by Yah. All right, and there's a means in which we accomplish that, okay? So to accomplish this, we are restoring culture to our people to form more close-knit and proactive communities with the goal of becoming autonomous. Autonomy means self-governing, okay? By becoming autonomous, we can be Kodesh, set apart, and allow Yah to receive us as we receive Him. This will enable the remnants, those of us that are, coming together to inherit the coming kingdom. All right? And by doing this, all of this, summarize it, we're implementing cultural autonomy in the community through research and application. So this is important, and the reason why I say it's important is because when we are here, Yah has woke us up, chose us in order for us to fulfill a mission and assignments and to have a purpose, right? During the process of doing that, the objective that we have as a herald is to let people know, hey, there's going to be a kingdom that's coming that's going to supersede this kingdom that you see here on earth. History has shown that. Scriptures have shown that. It's inevitable, right? But before that happens, what are we doing to prepare ourselves to actually be set apart? Because if you have an umbilical cord still tethered to this society and the things that society is handing you, are you really set apart? Because if Yah judges this place, you'll be like, well, hold up, Yah, I still got this. I'm still getting that. Instead of saying, oh, within your community, I can go to her for this, him for that. Oh, okay. Don't have to rely on that. So if you judge them, we'll be fine. That's extremely important, extremely important. I just want to make sure to keep that in mind. So this is pretty much what our vision is, and this sums it up right here. And there's ways in which we accomplish that, and we're going to get into that in a second, all right? All right, so I want to break down the logo because some of y'all have seen the logo. Some of y'all may not know what the logo is, what it stands for. So I want to go ahead and break that down as we move forward. All right, that's the logo right there. As you can see, it's two lions, one on the left, one on the right, and there's a man in the middle. His head is covered, or he's covered with a prayer shawl. He has some kind of book in his hand, and he has a shofar that he's blowing. Sometimes people didn't really know what that means. And what's that? We're redoing the logo. Yes. Oh. It's more of a silhouette, so a little bit. But
it looks like a fish to me.
Yeah, somebody said it looked like a volcano. I mean, but we're redoing the logo. There should be another 3D one is going to be done that has that's more detailed, so that way when you see it, you know exactly what you're looking at. All right. So correct. That's what he's doing. There you go. There you go. So the colors, right? The red, as you see red, black, and green in here, right? So the red is the blood of our ancestors running through us, which they spill for us. It must be redeemed by actions, and all the scattered diaspora is united by this. So Israel is just not in America. Israel is all over to the four corners of the earth. King Khan? So we are all united through the blood of Yaakov, or Israel. All right? Black, quote unquote. The byword key. Byword representation of identity and hue in a diaspora. So a lot of us have a significant amount of melanin, which will identify with this term, and it becomes a byword. Sometimes we may be called brown, we may call whatever the case may be, but these are just bywords that we know when we hear that, we know who they're talking about. Right? Now the people who they call that may not know who they are, but we know when we hear, oh, black people over here, oh, we know who we're talking about. That's our people. Okay? And green, the chosen land of our ancestors that was lost due to their captivity because of what? Their disobedience. But we will eventually be restored to that. Now that's important. So what you got to do now until then is called etiquette. What's proper etiquette? When somebody's teaching you etiquette, what does that mean? You're going to a dinner, you have an executive there, and you're about to go eat. Somebody teaches you etiquette, so when you have the event,
You know how to act.
you know how to act. So that's what we're doing here. So are we learning kingdom etiquette so that when we have a model, we have something that's stable, we have something that's functionally autonomous, so when Yah comes back, he can say, whoa, look at the kingdom amongst them. He can receive us, and he can come to where we're at. Okay? So what are the symbols in here? The lions represent the royal strength of Yah's kingdom to come. So when we see the lion, it represents the strength of the kingdom, because the lion is representative of the ruler. King Khan?
Judah.
Okay.
Judah.
The man blowing the shofar representing the heralding of Yah's kingdom to his people. And the book represents the Torah, which is the cultural literature that connects us. Okay? So that should be straightforward. But then there's circles. You see this? Don't mind this one here. That's just to highlight the symbol. But you have 1, 2, and 3 circles, right? They represent culture, community, and autonomy that surrounds us and keeps us within our purpose. So culture, which we're going to probably talk a little bit about, culture has to do with the things that you learn based on the environment that you're in. And if it was indigenous to us, which is not being here in America, it would be an external immune system to protect you against foreign influences that seek to undermine who you are. So we have to find a way by learning our culture to reconstruct it and restore it. Because when we wake up, we're looking at the text totally different now. So how are you trying to reconstruct and restore it with the express purpose of creating a more close-knit community, so then once we trust each other, we work with each other, and we have a common ground, now we can govern ourselves. Now we can keep the resources in our community. We don't have to beg the government for stuff, or if I lose my job, I don't know what to do. Other ethnic blocks don't worry about that. But we do. You lose your job, it's like, okay, you got to go and scramble for another job. Other ethnic groups say, hey, they ask their neighbor down the street, hey, I just lost my job. Oh, yeah, come work with me until you get on your feet to do A, B, and C. Do we have a network like that? You got to work on it. So some of you might say, man, that sounds good. I need to know that this is really what the ancestors was doing. You know, some doubt is out there. It's okay. All right? So let me give you an example of Israelites carrying out culture, community, and autonomy post-exile. Okay? Because while they were in the land, they were doing this thing. Okay? They didn't need to know what my culture is, because you're raised in it according to Deuteronomy. As your children are young, raise them up in the way that you go. As they raise up and you lie down and you go to the way. But they already knew this thing. A lot of us, maybe there's maybe a few people that grow up in the culture. Most of us have not. Right? But when they are kicked out the land, right? Now they're in a post-exilic state. Now over time, you may tend to lose some things. Right? Okay. Now, does anybody know what these 2 images are here? And somebody, oh, can I get a reader real quick? Just for this slide. A reader? Anybody?
This
one here?
Yes.
No, but it looks like it. Yes. Okay. Yeah, it's Akkadian. But if I'm looking at it, it looks more like it's Imperial Babylonian. There you go. There you go. All right. Good. Good eyes. Good eyes. Reader? Nobody? Reader? You want to read? All right, cool. Yeah, grab your phone, and you're going to read this scripture right here. Well, actually, you know what? Before we read it, anybody know what this one is right here? I mean, it's even difficult for me to read. I have to read like transcriptions of it, like, you know, when they look at what character it is and then they transcribe it. But this right here is in Aramaic. Right, but when it's transcribed, it's into the modern square script, so that way when I see it, I know what it is. But looking at it like that, I have a hard time doing it. But this is in Aramaic, because one is tied to one group of tribes, the other is tied to another group of tribes. Okay, so my reader, you got the scripture? All right, now before you read that, let's get another scripture. Right, let's get context real quick. This is probably the longest slide. Everything else, we're going to breeze through it. All right, 2 Kings 17:5. I want to show you this because when people ask me, well, why are you doing that? Right? I have to give them something that's demonstrative, that we can go back to history and scripture and other texts to validate what we're doing, because we are post-exile. King Khan? Okay. All right, 2 Kings 17 and 5.
All right, this is book of 2 Kings, chapter 17 and verse 5.
Uh-huh.
Then the king of Assyria came up throughout all the land and went up to Samaria and besieged it 3 years.
Okay, you go to verse 7. And Samaria represents the northern kingdoms, right?
Mhm.
Northern tribe, right? Okay.
Verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
For so it was that the children of Israel had sinned against the Lord their God,
Mm-hmm.
which had brought them up out of the land of Egypt, from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, and had feared other gods.
Mm-hmm. Okay, verse 15.
Verse 15. And they rejected his statutes, and his covenant that he made with their fathers, and his testimonies which he testified against them, and they followed vanity, and became vain, and went after the heathen that were round about them, concerning whom the Lord had charged them, that they should not do like them.
All right, what verse you at?
That was the end of 15.
Okay, do 18 and 20.
Verse 18. Therefore the Lord was very angry with Israel, and removed them out of his sight. There was none left but the tribe of Judah only. Also Judah kept not the commandments of the Lord their God, but walked in the statutes of Israel which they made. And the Lord rejected all the seed of Israel, and afflicted them, and delivered them into the hand of spoilers, until he had cast them out of his sight.
And that's verse 20, right?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Now, we see the state of the Israelites, right? We see what's happening in history. We see why it's happening, and we see the end result of that happened, right? So now you see Assyria sieging Samaria, which is the capital of the northern kingdom, and the scripture goes on to say the reason why this happened is because they turned away from Yah, and they started to imitate the things that was around them.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a lot of our people in this country. Hey. And then as a result of that, they got kicked out the land. So now they've been exiled. All right. So let's get 2 Kings 25, 8 to 12. So even though we see this is the state of the northern tribes, it also talks about Judah in there, right? It said Judah was doing the same thing, but they was given a little bit more time. All right. Until we get to 2 Kings 25, 8 to 12. All right. You can go ahead, Marita.
All right, this is the book of 2 Kings, chapter 25, verse 8. And in the 5th month, on the 7th day of the month, which is the 19th year of King Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came Nebuchadnezzar, captain of the guard, a servant of the king of Babylon, unto Jerusalem. And he burnt the house of the Lord, and the king's house, and all the houses of Jerusalem, and every great man's house burnt he with fire. And all the army of the Chaldees that were with the captain of the guard brake down the walls of Jerusalem round about. Now the rest of the people that were left in the city, and the fugitives that fell away to the kingdom of Babylon, to the king of Babylon, with the remnant of the multitude, did Nebuzaradan, the captain of the guard, carry away. But the captain of the guard left of the poor of the land to be vine dressers and husbandmen.
All right, well, that was verse 12.
That was verse 12.
Okay, cool. Just write down Jeremiah 52, 26 to 30. It's a retelling of that. Well, the only addition is it tells you the number of deportees, right? They tell you how many people were actually taken into Babylon, which is extremely important because they were the, I'm not going to say best of the best, but they were the upper middle class and elite. Everybody else, the poor, were left in the land because you can't take everybody off the land and have anything beneficial happen, right? Because the people had agricultural roles, pastoral roles, so you still need to leave people behind to do these things, right? But those people were not important. The important people were the people that were taken away, all right? This is interesting. But for the main part, you'll say a majority of Judah and Benjamin and some Levites, they were all taken out the land as well because of their disobedience, right? So now we in post-exile. So now here's the question. Once they're exiled, what are they doing? So we want to look to see, okay, if the northern tribes are in exile, if the southern tribes are in exile, what are they doing? this would be the template for why we even have an organization called KHM, or Kingdom Harbinger Ministries. Because we're going to look in history to see, okay, can we extract what they were doing and apply those principles contemporarily today to get similar results? Okay? Now, Jeremiah 29, 1-14. That's the last scripture.
All right, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29. Now these are the words of the letter that Jeremiah the prophet sent from Jerusalem unto the residue of the elders which were carried away captives, and to the priests, and to the prophets, and to all the people whom Nebuchadnezzar had carried away captive from Jerusalem to Babylon.
All right, so now we see there was actually more than one time that this exile happened. It happened in 580, 597 BCE, and then 587 BCE. All right, so this is the first taken away, right? Before we get to Jeremiah 52. So this is the first group of deportees that was taken into captivity, and then we have the second one at 2 Kings 25, 8-12, and Jeremiah chapter 52. All right, so keep going.
Verse 2. After that, Jeconiah the king, and the queen, and the eunuchs, the princes of Judah and Jerusalem, and the carpenters, and the smiths, were departed from Jerusalem, by the hand of Elisah the son of Shaphan, and Gemariah the son of Hilkiah, whom Zedekiah king of Judah sent unto Babylon to Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, unto all that are carried away captives, whom I have caused to be carried away from Jerusalem unto Babylon, build ye houses, and dwell in them, and plant gardens, and eat the fruit of them. Take ye wives, and beget sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, that they may bear sons and daughters, that ye may be increased there, and not diminished.
Increased, okay.
And seek the peace of the city, whither I have caused you to be carried away captives, and pray unto the Lord for it, for in the peace thereof shall ye have peace.
Okay.
For thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, let not your prophets and your diviners that be in the midst of you deceive you, neither hearken to your dreams which ye cause to be dreamed. For they prophesy falsely unto you in my name. I have not sent them, saith the Lord. For thus saith the Lord, that after 70 years be accomplished at Babylon.
That's the important part. After 70 years being accomplished in Babylon, keep going.
I will visit you, and perform my good word toward you, in causing you to return to this place.
Okay.
For I know the thoughts that
There we go. Now, you know, you hear this in church a lot. I know when I was in church, I hear this and never give me no context. Sounds good, though, right? Go ahead.
For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace, and not of evil, to give you an expected end.
There you go. That's what we're working towards. Keep going.
Then shall ye call upon me, and ye shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. And ye shall seek me, and find me, when ye shall search for me with all your heart.
Now, slow down. Now, there's a prerequisite before even getting there. He didn't say sit down and just wait. You got to be active. You got to be proactive. Go ahead. Keep going. That's
and
it. What
verse 14.
Okay.
And I will be found of you, saith the Lord, and I will turn away your captivity, and I will gather you from all the nations, and from all the places whither I have driven you, saith the Lord. And I will bring you again into the place whence I caused you to be carried away captive.
Now slow down. Now, this is extremely important. Because a lot of us may be sitting here waiting for something just to happen without doing nothing. The reason why we had a group of Yehudim or Judah with some Benjamin Levites come back is just to show you what Yah can do if you're faithful to the instructions he gives you while you're in captivity. Because Israel can't even keep the statutes, laws, and commandments like they were supposed to in their land, so he's at least given them some instructions in captivity. And he says, when you do this thing, and you complete it, I'm going to bring you back to the land after X amount of time has been completed. And then once you're doing what I'm telling you to do, then you can seek me and I can be found. Because these are my thoughts that I have for you to bring you to an expected end. A lot of times we get into truth and don't have an expected end. We think the expected end is just to wait to get redeemed out of here. Ain't got to do nothing. But yet we complain about everything that's going on in the community. Let me give you one more thing. We're going to move to the next slide. Go back to verse 7. Anybody go to verse 7? Read verse 7.
Verse 7.
Uh-huh.
And seek the peace of the city.
Slow down. And seek the peace of the city. Wait, Israelites supposed to do that? Seek the peace of the city in Babylon? Okay, keep going.
Whither I have caused you to be carried away captives.
Okay.
And pray unto the Lord for it.
Uh-huh.
For in the peace thereof.
Wait, in the peace thereof. Keep going.
Shall ye have peace.
So people complain about no peace in their city, but yet, what are you doing? Look up that word pray in Hebrew. Anybody? Y'all can go to bluethatbible.com, biblehub.com. You can just go to anywhere online or just type it into Google and do a search on that passage and look it up in Hebrew, that word for pray. Because we think that means, that's not what that means.
Halal.
Okay, and what does it mean?
It means,
Wait, what word you said?
well, this is in the strong, so I'm not sure.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
Halal. Or
Uh-huh.
halal.
There you go.
Halal.
Go ahead.
To judge.
To judge.
Officially or mentally.
Okay, keep going.
By extension.
Mm-hmm.
To intercede.
Wait.
Intervene.
By extension, do what?
By extension, to intercede.
So, Jan, you want me to intercede on your behalf in this city? In Babylon? You don't see what's going on? He said, I caused you to go there. So there's a purpose for being there. Even if it's a testimony against the nation that is oppressing you. So before they get judged, he has to have his people there to give them the word. But you got to intercede. And what else? Keep going. You want it?
Pray. Entreat.
Entreat. Uh-huh.
Judge.
Judge.
Judgment.
Judgment.
Make.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Pray. Prayer. Praying.
Mm-hmm.
Make supplication.
Make supplication. Now.
Intervene.
Intervene. Thank you. Intervene. Now, that's the first one. Or interpose, right? And then, by extension, pray. But the problem is, I'm not going to say it's a problem. I'm going to do a lecture on this, on prayer. A lot of times we don't know how to put the appeal before the Most High. So, pretty much it's saying that you have to intercede if you want peace in your city. So, if Israelites is in every city, and they complaining about no peace, y'all ain't doing nothing.
Pray for wrong.
You're in captivity for a purpose. How are you going to be the light into the nations and you can't even be the peace that you want to see? Go ahead.
Just like Phineas, when he took the javelin, remember he got peace.
Mhm.
All the seeds after him. You got to handle that.
You gotta handle that. I like that.
Yeah.
You see problems, you gotta handle that. You gotta be organized as a collective Israelite organization to take care of problems in your city. Why would I want the truth from you when you can't even bring peace to the city? We don't see you anywhere with this problem. Okay, y'all on the corner preaching, but what else are y'all doing? Because the next day somebody's still shooting somebody on that same corner. So, with KHM, that's the objective. Seek the peace of the city. How? We gotta intervene. That's how you bring peace to the city. You talking about you got all these God powers, well, I ain't see it in action. It sound good until somebody gets shot. And then y'all marching and going home and the next person gets shot again. What are we actually doing to intercede to make sure there's peace? So when they see an Israelite, they know we're bringing peace. You know there's issues, there's problems when they see us, or they may go to us to get peace. That's deep. Oh yeah, there you go. There you go.
Oh my goodness.
Now, let me give you some more sources, all right? What does this say here? If anybody can read, I know it's a little small for those that are on the back.
Elephantine papyrus.
The elephantine papyrus. And any more familiar with that? Raise your hand.
Somewhat.
One person, okay? Over there, what does that say?
Al Yahudu tablets.
Al Yahudu tablets. How many of you are familiar with that? Raise your hand. All right. Excellent. The reason why I'm showing you these things, because when Israel was taken in captivity, you see this? That's what instructions they had. Now, this is scripture. So,
Southern tribe going to captivity. Northern tribe had prophets come to them too, right? So by extension of what we see Jeremiah saying, we know that before they left, they had prophets that prophesied to them as well, right? So what message did they receive that when they're in captivity that they're actually obeying what you see here? Do you think when they were in captivity that they were doing this? Yes or no? Yes.
Yes.
That's why I'm here. Yes, they were doing that. And we have evidence outside the Bible to prove it. Now, because we're running on time, I'll just email this to y'all. Y'all want it, reach out to me. I'll email it to y'all because I actually had some references I can give y'all. This is called the Elephantine Pat Bryan English. 3 Millennia of Cross-Cultural Community and Change by Bezalel Porton. And the references is page 74 to 84. I'll leave it there if you want to write it down real quick. But when you read that, you're going to read the Aramaic letters of the Israelites that were in Elephantine Island. Elephantine Island is along the Nile. Actually, it's a river, and then the Nile's a river, and then it's an island in the river. We have something like that in Atlanta. You have Chattahoochee River, and then we have an island that's in the middle of the river. That's what that was, right? Now, on that same island, you had worshippers of Khnum Hotep, of Khnum. And they were the Khnum Hotep priesthood. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because the northern tribes, when they go through and assess the letters and look at the history, and then they go to another artifact called P. Amherst 63, they realize that the people that were stationed there were Israelites of the northern tribe. And a lot of reasons why they were put there is because it was a troop. Because Egypt never had a standing army. They had to go in draft. So what they did was they got some Israelites to say, hey, you know, in captivity, y'all need a job? Yeah, we need a job. All right, well, we're going to turn you on to mercenaries, and you can bring your friends, your family, and in exchange, if we need you to go to battle, we'll give you some land, right? We'll allow you to worship, right? So this is what was going on and during the Persian captivity, all right? This is what we have, this corpus of letters, and it's about less than 100 years, anywhere from 10 to 100 years of letters that we have. And this is evidence of what they're doing. Now, when you go through it, you'll see that they're doing everything in the city. They're staying active. They're marrying their children. They're increasing. They get involved in politics and make sure that community don't get destroyed. That's what Esther was there for. People say, oh, don't get involved in politics. That ain't the way of the Most High. Damn, so what was Esther doing? And Mordecai, what if they weren't there? And Yah said, you know what? I'm done with y'all. He had people in place to intercede. Okay, y'all missed that. All right. Somebody missed that. And this is an article that goes in to prove to you that it was the northern tribe that was actually in Elephantine Island, right? Now, the Al Yahudu tablets, and I can give you this reference as well, I'm not going to read through it, was also proof that when the southern tribes was taken into Babylon, they created a city while in captivity called Al Yahudu, which means the city of Judah. And in that city, they took care of every kind of affair you could think about. So they were given, now mind you, the reason why they were taken and placed in captivity is because they were given a purpose by their overlords. They saw skills or whatever in them and said, look, we're going to lease this land to you. If you work and do A, B, and C and make this place productive, then you can keep the land, you can keep some spoils, they were getting benefits. Almost like some of y'all get today in a job or whatever the case may be. And they created a whole city in Babylon. And anytime somebody went to that city, guess what? They had peace. When y'all read it, you'll see all the activities that they were doing during this period of time. So what are we doing? We sitting here just praying and not doing nothing when yet the ancestors was working. And this is why they got taken out of captivity temporarily, right, Judah, and brought back to the land because they were so productive based on what Jeremiah told them to do. Okay, let's move forward. So that was just the introduction, just to get y'all primed about what we're about, why we're doing what we're doing, and the justification based on what the ancestors were doing themselves. So now what I'm going to do is break you into a little bit of our operation just so you can get an idea of how we run, so you can know how everything you just saw, how are we putting this thing in place. Now, I don't know how many, I know KHM, just so y'all know, it's not a camp, it's not a church, it's not a congregation. It's a ministry organization. So you can be part of a camp, church, or congregation and still be part of this organization. There's some people in here now that may still go to their congregation and you're part of some external organization, maybe for work or something else. Outside of this, you may be part of a book club, right? That's a group that comes together. You may be part of some kind of politics club. I don't know. You may be some kind of whatever hobby or anything job related you may be part of, right? And you can still go to your congregation, your church, or your camp. This is indifferent of that. This is how can we organize and mobilize you to be the piece in the city that you are looking for. You understand? And how can you get the security behind it, the resources and support behind it to make it work? Now, I've been to Orlando a couple of times before I got here today, and the part where, you know, the theme parks and everything, that stuff is nice. When you go to where black folk live, brown folk live, we got problems. We got some problems. If you go outside of Orlando to other cities, Jacksonville, Tampa, Miami, black folk, brown folk, we got problems. But y'all there. Somebody should have ordered the Israelite here. I know I can go to him and he's going to make things better. Do people come to you to make things better? Now, I'm not just talking about your friend, your family member. I'm talking about a stranger that knows, oh, the thing they should know when they hear Israelites is not just that we're on a corner preaching or whatever. They should know that, yo, when they get in this city, they taking out crime, poverty, all this stuff is going away. Are we doing that? Are we known for that? A lot of times I just hear it's like the Nation of Islam. Yeah, sometimes they try to police this. But what are we doing? Are we giving it over to them? When Yah called us as chosen people, he can make you high above all the nations. I think we just want to succumb to the curses even though we follow in Torah. How does that work? How does that work? Where's the blessings at? Well, when you go to history, they got busy. They kept Torah culture. They found some way to maneuver through the cities, and they were making things happen because they still had or was entrusted with a culture that was distinct than anybody else. So they was rising to a certain extent. They didn't overthrow their, their oppressors, but amongst their people, they still had a degree or had an edge. Now, when you're following Torah, these are one of the benefits. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verses 1 to 15. Most people only read after 15. When I got into the community, that's all people was reading. I didn't even know, really, there was a verse 1 to 15. So I read it. I'm lying. When I was in church, they would read that all the time. You'd be the head and not the tail. You see, coming and going, they always read that. And I'm like, wow, that sounds good. While they're taking offering and tithes. So you're like, oh, wow, this is great. But then they would never read the curses. Then I get in the Israelite community. I don't hear nobody saying 1 to 15, but they say about the curses. That's when I learned about everything. I was like, wait, we're missing something here, right? So I'm going to break down for your operations on how we are trying to accomplish that. It's a big feat. We need help. So I had people reach out to me in Orlando, parts of Florida, say, yo, we like what you're doing. Please bring it here. How can we get involved? And I said, look, what we're doing does not conflict what you believe in, does not conflict, because you saw the prerequisites. All of y'all raise your hand, right? That was easy. Y'all can keep going to your congregations, your churches. We're not taking you away from that. We just want you to take it to the next level. Once you're done speaking on the corner, worshiping, whatever, hearing that word, now how can we fix this city? All right? So I'm going to give y'all the secret sauce that we have. Here are the membership requirements that we have for KHM, right? We have monthly dues, and there's a reason why we take monthly dues, and it's $50. When I was in church, I had to get 10%, and I had to get offering, and then it was the past appreciation. I had to give for that. It was the building fund. I had to give for that. I gave for everything. Every week. There was always something that came up. Oh, what they said they want to paint the colors a different color. I'm like, yo, y'all just got this painted. We had to raise a fund for that. Past a birthday coming up. We got to raise a fund for that. All we ask is for $50, and with $50 from our members, we actually do things in the community. We don't care about past appreciation. What is that going to fix the city? That doesn't fix the city. So we have to raise capital, and we're going to go into that in a second, right? There's an annual membership certificate that renews every January, so we want to entrust you. Now, some of y'all may have honorary ones now, but when you sign through your official member, we get you one with a seal on it because, and an expiration date, because we want you to have it to know that you are actually a part of something that's going to make a difference, right? So now, we want people to purchase T-shirts, a polo or a lapel pin. I'm going to give y'all that before you leave. So that way, when you're being active, people can see culture, community, autonomy and know, okay, when these guys are around and gals are around, things are getting done. We ain't got to call this person, that person. We see them in our city, we're going to come to them. Okay? Attendance of at least one monthly fellowship, and I'm going to get into that real quick, which means y'all can come together to talk about, okay, how can we take our cultural understanding and fix this problem in the city, that problem in the city, this problem in the city. And what we do at these fellowship meetings is that they come together as a group behind a theme to do this and open it for other people that may be interested in doing the same in the city. Okay? Provide an organization innovative idea at least once a month. So how can we make the organization better? It's a requirement that you give an idea, because everybody has an idea. Even if you don't know how to perform it, you put in it before a collective, and together we can make it happen. That's how we don't stay stagnant. That's why even when I teach stuff, it's always something new, because I put ideas before a group of peers, or they put ideas before me. We vet it, and then we put it out. And then it helps with progression, okay? Familiarity with the organization's mission, which I told you, a statement and charter, which we have a draft of the charter, so y'all will get that as well if you'll join, fulfill a role, or join a role team, and I'm going to get into that in a second. Assist with current organization services, I'm going to get into that in a second. Or we want you to have something. We don't just want to take somebody that's not doing anything. We want people to have a non-for-profit, a business, a skill, a trade, a service, whatever. And what you can do is use the might and collective unity of the organization to actually take whatever you have that can fix something in the community and put it out there. I don't care what you do. You can just be an electrician. Okay, so if there's a problem, then people should know that we're going to promote that individual to fix your electricity problems, to give you peace. That's a small amount of peace. Sometimes you think it's something grand, you got to start small first. So whatever skill, trade, I know a brother in Hawaii, right? He's an army. He used to be in the army as a medic in the army. And he doesn't do nothing with those skills anymore. When I was in New York in 2014 and 15, we had a small program that we were working with one of those local boys and girls club. And what we were doing was we were looking for veterans on the street that were in their right state of mind. And we told them, look, we raised some money to put you in a hotel, to help you get housing, lodging, and even to make sure we can look into your veterans benefits. In exchange, we want you to speak to the youth and pass on the skills that you learned in the army to see how can we translate that to skills for the youth. If you are a medic in the army and you don't do that no more, well, that can help somebody else. You can teach it to the youth. A lot of the Boys and Girls Club are being taken out the youth. Out the community. A lot of community programs are being taken out of the community. A lot of trade schools are being taken out of the community. And then now what are we left with? Kids ain't got nothing to do, a lot of energy, and they just find something destructive to do because they don't have nothing constructive to do. So we don't want you to sit on those skills, no trade. If you have a service that you offer, a product, a good, a business, a non-for-profit, we want you to put it into a collective pot so that more people can benefit from what you can bring to the table. And then when we're in a city, and they know they need something, where them Israelites at? You know, the ones that, yeah, they could do this and do that, and they work together. We want you to actually offer something so you can feel like you're contributing to something bigger than yourself. All right? Let me rush through that part. This is what the certificate looks like, the official certificate. Any of y'all got certificates? I know a few of y'all may have some certificates, right? This is what the official one looks like, right? We have expiration date. And this is what it looks like when you get a certificate. So we'll give you one that's sealed, that has a actual stamp of approval on it. And then we frame it for you and we ship it out to you so that you can put it somewhere. So people ask, hey, what's that? You ain't got to tell them nothing. They open up the icebreaker. Now you can talk. Explain, yeah, I'm part of this organization. Like, you know, people think Israelites is this, but we actually doing this. Now you can open up the conversation to them when they see it. This is what one of the official t-shirts on, and this brother got his on right now. He rocking his with the fringes on that we got for him, right? And I got one here too as well, so we'll give you this. And also everybody's going to leave with this pin at least. So if you don't have the shirt, at least wear the pin so people can see it when you're coming together, when you're actually doing something, so they can identify who you are. Just like any camp, you know, when people see camps like IUIC, you know them for their colors, right? You see them marching through the city and all of that. But what we do is when they done marching, now we're going to get involved and fix problems. The awareness is there. All right, y'all 800 marching in here, right? But now what's going to happen after you march? With 800 people in one city, there should be no problems. There should be no issues. Collectively, there should be no issues, no problems, right? So, our KHM New Orleans Chapter Fellowship, Brother Vaughn right there, he threw this together right here. That's my go-to man right there, man, for the flyers. I had a couple people before, but he's consistent, and I love his artwork, man. So we had the New Orleans chapter, and we have chapters. We have about 5 chapters now, and we're trying to get through 10 this year in different cities, right? So if you know somebody in one of these cities, you can send them to our point, and then they'll organize and do everything that I'm telling you about right now, right? So one of those fellowship events that I told you about that you have to come to once a month it's going to be something like this. So he did a theme. He knew the Colts and the Saints was playing football, and brothers would get together football. So he's like, oh, if they're going to get to football, let's talk about what we're going to do in the city.
Yeah.
You're there already, right? And he rented everything out. We gave the funds. He put his funds, took care of everything. People were fed, had a good time. And as you can see, while they was doing this, look what's up there. We're going to get into that in a second. My brother right there, look at that. They playing his board game. Because we teaching people that if you're going to get together, what resources are in the community, who's doing what, let's get together and talk about it. And then take what they're doing and expand it outside of this group. And do something with it. So that's the autonomy part. If I want a board game for my children, I ain't got to go to Kmart, Target, or Walmart. I call this brother right there. If I need some music for an event, I call that brother right there. If I need a flyer, well, he don't do flyers for nobody else, but that's his son. That's my man. But anyway, if I need somebody, a graphic artist, why I got to go anywhere else when it's right here in front of me? And why are we not collectively promoting those individuals when they're doing it? That's how you bring the peace, because it first starts with telling people who they are, what their culture is, things that they agree on. All right? So now here's some chapter roles. So now explain that. Here's some of the chapter roles. Now mind you, I'm telling y'all, I would say 85% of what we do. I'm not hiding anything. The other 15% stuff that we're still working on, we're still tweaking. But I'm just breaking everything down. You know, a lot of times when I ask people publicly, because we have nothing to hide, like, hey, how can I learn what y'all do as an organization? They'll tell you some stuff and they'll hide everything. I'm telling you everything that we do. This is it. And you're going to get this slide too, this PowerPoint, so you can look at it at any time, scrutinize it, say, hey, look, Divine, you can do this better, we can do that better. I'm like, oh, okay, you on board? Yeah. Whatever you said we could do better, I'm going to apply it there and we're going to see if it works. We're going to do a pilot, see what happens with that, and we're going to make it work. Because I can't do everything by myself. The few members that we have, we can't do it. We need all of y'all and even more. All right? And like I said, I'm not here teaching doctrine. It's nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with what we're going to do in the community. Now, you may see me teach some things online. That's something separate. That has nothing to do with this. This is the work that we do in the streets, right? And you'll see videos of me doing a lot of different things, right? I'm doing charter schools, helping out with charter schools. I'm talking to people who are doing programs for being politicians, so I can hear, okay, how you guys operating, what y'all doing, and if we get in office, what we can do better by infusing Torah culture and making it look like good ideas. So you don't have to tell people, look, it's from the Bible. Let me read it for you right here. Just give them the idea. It's y'all's word. You accomplish it, it works. They come back like, yo, that was a great idea. Where you got that from? You ain't gonna believe if I told you. Let me open up the book of Proverbs. See this right here? It's right there. They're gonna, you got that from the book. It worked, right? Once they see the results, they can't argue. Okay? So in every city, we try to set up a director. That's a big role because they do what I do on a smaller level. They got to oversee everything. Okay? Then we have administrators, people that work with the director, that do clerical work, and they make sure everything's organized. Some administrators are also bookkeepers, and they want to check to see about any monies that we're taking in. When we do these fellowship events, we don't charge. It's free for anybody to come, but if they want to donate, then we have that there so they can donate and we can use those funds, right? Just like this event. I didn't want to charge for this. If you don't want to learn what we're about, why would I charge you? Let me feed you. Let me give you some information, get y'all to know each other. And then later, if you decide you want to do it, then we can talk. If not, even if it's a good idea to inspire you to do something, that's fine. All right? Event planners. When we do events like this, because I'm just setting this up, I had to do everything by myself. But we will have somebody to do the event so that when it comes time to do the event, they can take care of everything, right? And anybody can do any one of these roles. All you got to do is raise your hand and say, I'm willing to do it. And if you need training, we can train you how to do it. It's not that difficult, right? I learned a lot of this from dealing with corporate America, IT. They had this structure. I learned about it. I hated doing it for them. And my visions and what I want to do for y'all is just sitting on the back burner. So I said, look, let me get out and do something. Let me just at least let people know what it is that I'm doing, right? Public relations, social media manager. So we need somebody that's able to speak to other organizations, the radio, whatever the case would be, to tell them what we're about. And if they're on social media, they're doing the same thing, right? And that's important. Now, again, any organization, even if you're a church congregation, y'all should have these things. All of this is important. And this is why it's difficult for us to do anything, because we're not vetted as far as our organization, right, in the roles that we have. Advertiser promotions coordinator, you can have a good idea, but people don't know about it. What good is it? So this is what we want people to do when they're part of the group in these cities, right? Services coordinator. So we have services that we offer, and as we grow, more people who join have their own services, and we put it into a pool and we actually can offer it to the community, all right? merchandise coordinator, because now we're getting into putting more merchandise because you need ways to raise capital. So we need somebody to assist with that, right? How do we generate earned revenue? Again, I'm telling you everything that we do. So you have, when you come into this, you know everything, all right? Does anybody know what earned revenue is for a nonprofit organization?
Donation.
No. What is earned revenue? There's a difference between contributions and earned revenue. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is important. I don't know how many of you are part of an Israelite organization, but if you're a 501c3, 508c1a, you have to know what this is. Because when it comes to tax time, they're going to examine all these monies that you're getting. They have to find out, okay, where you're getting what from what source from, okay? So earned revenue is different from contributions because it's the works or the efforts that the organization does in exchange for money, right? Providing a service. It's not the same as a contribution. Contribution is somebody does some kind of ad on TV. They show you some random African child and say, look, the child is sick. Donate X amount of money to us. And then when you read the fine print, that child gets 2 cents. Yes.
So would the earned revenue, the charter dues or membership fees be a part of that? Or would that be the merchandise and the things that we do?
So the membership fees go towards sustaining the organization in conjunction with this and contributions, right? So when you need to do things, you're raising revenue to do it. And there's various ways to do that, right? So even if we don't do any of this, collectively together, we can raise enough dues to get something done. And we don't have to wait on a donation or wait on, oh, we're not able to sell merchandise this time, you know, things that represent our culture. We actually have it together collectively in a pot, because if you have 50 people for $50, how much money is that? It's like, what, $2,500, right? Or more than that. It's more than $2,500, right? How much is that? It's $2,500? Okay. There you go. Y'all can put together an event for $2,500. I did it way less than that. Bring people together, have a theme, and let other people in the community know, look, this is why we're here, this is what we're doing, and do you have a problem that we can fix? Okay, you say you have an issue with poverty. All right, we have models that we can use to show you how to raise revenue, because what we understand scripturally, it says that what does the scripture say about money? Several things. One thing says, money answer all things. This is Solomon and his wisdom. He understood that in order to get things done, you need money. Money answers all things. It gets you to a certain point, but then who you are, your character, has to fill in the rest. All right? The second thing, it says that the wealth is laid up for who? But it's from who? The sinners. So the wealth of sinners is laid up for the righteous. Well, how are we getting access to that wealth that sinners have so we can do something righteous? How are we tapping into it? And this is why we try to do different things to cater to them in order to get that. So we're earned revenue. These are services that we offer, merchandise that we sell, things that we do to raise money, right? One stream of revenue so we can get things done, right? So right now I created a mixtape. I got some artists in the community that say, hey, look, we got a mixtape. Do you want to be part of the mixtape? Mixtape had nothing to do with me. People thought it was my mixtape. No, it's not my mixtape. I'm looking for talent in the community because we believe in autonomy. And I said, look, if you got a hot song, you want people to know about you, I'll put you on this mixtape, put the KHM brand behind it, and then we're going to give it away for a donation so that people can actually hear your music, so it can impact people. People I know gave these mixtapes out to people who don't even care nothing about Israelites, and they heard it, and now they want to know what this thing is about. So this is a way that we can raise revenue through mixtape, through music, right? We have Volume 2 coming out soon as well. T-shirts. This is a basic T-shirt. Sell a T-shirt. When I sell this T-shirt, the T-shirt that I have is $35. People say, yo, you got a $35 T-shirt? Actually, nobody actually did say that to me. I'm kind of shocked. But $35 for a T-shirt, you telling me I could go buy that T-shirt with $15, $10 from Walmart? And I tell them, when you buy this T-shirt, it goes towards giving free services to the community. And I'm going to show you what that is. Free service to a community. When you buy this, it's not a T-shirt, it's an investment. But if people don't know what they're investing in, if you don't show it to them, they're just going to think you're trying to get their money. And you're trying to inflate the prices because I like you. So, all right, I'll pay for it. No, I don't care if you like me or not. There's people that need things. And when we raise revenue, we can get that done. Calendars, and that's what we're working on in March. We're going to have a calendar. I'll show you some images from here. I got 4 more to give away. Calendar is another way to raise revenue because it's a gift you can give to somebody in your family, and they can look on that calendar. And what that calendar does is that it shows them about the Israelite culture. In the so-called calendar they use today, what it's supposed to be according to Yah. You just sell a calendar, but it's going towards something. Language packs. Any of y'all got a language pack? Order one for me in here. So Hebrew, Aramaic, Greek, Koine Greek, Syriac, Ugaritic, I was also selling those language packages because we partnered up with an organization that gave it to us for a bulk rate, and I was able to sell it back to people who are interested in it so we can raise revenue for the organization. So these are just things that I thought of and said, look, if we can do merchandise, here's 4 things that I've done to raise revenue, okay? Services. I created services because I said, look, we need to raise revenue, but how can you make it appealing to somebody to want to get your service? Well, if we're raising money here, we're getting donations, and we're getting membership fees, now we can offer things for free. Now we created Jubilee Manumission. Jubilee is what? What's the Jubilee? Any of y'all know what the Jubilee is?
Year of release.
Year of release, right? But that represents what? People who are in debt, they get alleviated, right? So I thought about that and I said, wow, you know what? If we're going to offer services, it should come from our culture. Listen to what I'm saying. Not something that's just, oh, I just want to offer this, but it has to come from the culture. So as I'm reading the text, I'm like, yo, our people are not getting a year of release. We're all tied to debt, right? So I did research before I actually came into the truth. And coming into the truth, I said, look, let me create a program, because manumission means what? What does manumit mean? Manumit mean? Anybody can look it up, but what does manumit mean? When somebody's manumitted. So an example of that is like, okay, so y'all remember when after the Civil War, right, blacks were considered free, quote unquote, right? All it did was go through a process of manumission. That means they were once the owners of slave masters, but now they were handed over to ownership to the federal government.
Transfer.
There you go, right? So transfer of ownership, right? So in this case, we want to transfer the ownership of them back to you. So what we do with this program is we help you get rid of your debt and repay your credit. And it's free assessment, free consultation. So the assessment is we look at it, oh, we can help you. Consultation is we tell you what to do, but then if somebody says, you know what, I don't want to do it, and you want us to do it, we charge you a fee, we'll get it done, and whatever we charge, if you're not happy, we actually give the money back. But we never had that happen before. But we do that because we make it appealing. Because we know that if we do the right thing and we do it righteously, then Yah will cover us. So this is the way, because this is relevant. Everybody has debt. Whether you have a little bit of debt or a lot of debt, everybody can use a manumission to get their Jubilee, and we decided to offer this as a service so we can raise revenue. The other one is Naturopath To Eden, which has to do with our naturopathic health consultation program, which when we learn about people that have certain ailments, we're able to sit down and give them assessment, consult with them, and then provide them a regimen if they want to buy into our regimen. The actual consultation, oh, thank you. No, you keep it, that's perfect. The actual consultation, we give you everything you need to do what you got to do. But I would say 85% of people don't have the time, don't feel like doing it, so they ask you to do it, and that's when we charge a fee, a convenience fee, so we can do it for you, right? And I would say because between both of them, 85% of the time, people ask us to do it, and that's another way we can raise revenue, right? And we also do seminars and workshops. Like I did one not too long ago about a municipal incorporation, right? How to incorporate your unincorporated portion of your county so you can create your own city. And this is something that we're working on in Georgia called Imagine Greenhaven. Georgia has several of them, right? One major one that we're working on is called Imagine Greenhaven. You can look it up, right? In DeKalb County, we're trying to establish that. That will be the largest municipality in the entire state of Georgia and the second largest city. And we've been getting a lot of pushback because it's like, oh, so the people that actually live there, y'all really want to take over your community, and you're allowed to do it. It's a process that you can actually get it done. We have 2 examples, Stonecrest and South Fulton in Georgia, that actually did it from our people in our community. Other communities did it, but our people actually did it, and now Greenhaven is going to be larger than any one of them, but we running it. Now they got a problem. But if we have more people that are part of this organization, then we can do more lobbying, push more things, because the objective, as you're going to see going forward, is we want to make these cities Israelite friendly. How do you make it Israelite friendly? Because people say all the time, well, I buy land and I own the land. You don't own the land. If you pay tax, you don't own the land.
That's right.
And if you don't have what's called a fee simple, you can have a fee simple relationship, but if you don't have a colonial title, then you're not the sovereign over that piece of land. I don't care what you say. You can say it's Timbuktu, you can say whatever you want to say. You can say, you can make the claim, but how can you enforce that? Federal government comes on your land, how are you going to enforce that? Whose court you going to? You going to take them to your court? You got a court? No, y'all ain't got no court. But if you incorporate your town into municipality, you have your own courts, your own police department, your own fire safety department, your own utilities. You run everything. So if we're in these cities and we see these unincorporated areas that we can go and tell people how they can turn it into their own city, what we'll do is that once the charter is drafted, all the principles we know for Torah, we want to make sure it shows up in those charters. Because that's the way that we can put that information in there, so when they implement it, we get peace in the city. Because Torah works. You just need the resources, the know-how to get it done, but it works. That's how you can enjoy the blessings. Okay. This is the mixtape right there. Those are some t-shirts right there. These are some images that I have on here from the upcoming calendar that we have. And this is one of the language packs. These are things that I just said, look, we need to raise revenue. Let me do these things. So I put these projects together, and then I'm offering the community for a price, so that way we can raise money. It's the portfolio, right? This is the organization services, Jubilee Manumission, debt elimination, credit repair. If any of y'all follow me on YouTube, you know how I break this down. I tell you how to find people who are scamming. A lot of people are scamming using these services. Like, for example, somebody says, I'll fix your credit. They're individual, sole proprietorship, they're organization, or just some random dude on YouTube. If they charge you up front, they're breaking the law. They charge you up front, they're breaking the law. It's FTC law, Credit Protection Bureau laws that tell you that they cannot charge you up front until they render the service to your liking. And then I go into more about that to show you how people are scamming you, how it works. But then I show you that our approach is righteous because we are bound by Torah, we are bound by a creator. This is why we see people in this conscious community do this type of stuff. They're not bound to these things, so they can scam you. I ain't gonna say no names. But they can scam you. We can't get away with that because we got to answer to God at the end of the day, right? And this is our Naturopath To Eden. This is what we do, the Naturopath to Health Consultation. We help people with cancer, help people with diabetes, help people with hypertension, and we just educate them on health. That's it. And people who want to join these services, we can offer the service or we can employ you. So before you leave today, once this session is over in about 15 minutes, I'm going to give everybody a unique code. So there's two parts of how this works. A unique code that I give you, that's a referral code. So if you know anybody that needs this service or that service, give them your referral code. We'll do all the dirty work for you. We'll do the assessment, the consultation, and we'll get them to get one of our paid services, which is inexpensive, that helps them with their credit or with their health. And then you get 25% commission on that, just by recommending them and walking away. Or if you want to be a consultant, you want to get more involved, we'll teach you how to do assessments, consultations, we'll teach you about nutrition. Most people are sick because of malnutrition. And we teach you about that. Very simple. And then if people have different ailments, we tell you certain suggestions to give them, but we always say to them, we're not your physician. So still go see your primary healthcare provider, whoever that is, your doctor, whoever. But here's something you could do to be proactive. So if they're giving you all these meds, all these treatments, you can wean off of that. Because how can you sit here and listen to a message, you got health problems? You got debt problems. These things on your mind, somebody trying to teach you something. You thinking about, damn, how much time I got left? So I gotta do something. You're thinking about something else. We're trying to get rid of those problems so you can see clearly what the vision is and you'll be willing to follow it because we can remedy some of those issues. As a consultant, you get 50% commission. So if a person says, look, I don't have no money to pay no membership dues, bro, I'm broke. Yo, we got programs. Hey, look, just refer a couple people. You make some money. You can pay the dues and use extra for whatever you want. You ain't got to come out your pocket for nothing. So we want to say that if you're a member and we need to raise revenue, you never have to come out your primary stream to pay your dues or to do anything else. I looked at churches and I said, yo, what are churches doing wrong? Well, they got members giving tithes, giving offerings. Pastor got a Bentley. This person taking a bus. Pastor just got what? Like, pastor appreciation got a huge check. Person on welfare. How's that working? So you telling me this person on the welfare check got to give you a tenth of that and offerings and whatever else you got to give them out of their money. Well, what if you give them a program where they ain't got to come out their pocket? They can find ways to raise the funds so they can pay whatever the church organization needs and then have extra for themselves. We had to look at this and think tank and say, how can we do something so people don't have to come out their pocket if money is needed? So we have programs that can employ you so that you can do that, so that you can pay whatever dues or whatever the organization may need in your city and get things done. There's no excuses. All right? So this is just a sample of what we got. But with everybody here or more people, y'all can provide more services. And collectively, we'll get behind it and we'll create a model so that way it works and we can bring it everywhere. This is one of the innovative ideas we asked for. Y'all can create a service. And I'll tell you exactly the 4 points to look for. So that way, one of them would be a person don't have to come out their pocket if they need employment, because a lot of scams tell you got to pay up front. Pyramid schemes. Got to give us $500, and then we'll show you this. And then you got to recruit other people. You just came out $500 to recruit other people. You got to pay more dues. We said, no, that's a pyramid scheme. We're doing something righteous because Jubilee, Eden. See that? These things are tied to the culture. So when people get the service and they want to acquire more, like, man, I see this is the word Eden. I read this in the Bible somewhere. Lead them right there. Man, Jubilee, I heard that word from. I'm not sure where that's from. This already opens up the platform for you to talk to them. Simply by the name of the service. Okay? Now, what types of contributions do we receive? We get membership dues, GoFundMe donations, PayPal donations, Patreon pledges. And if any of y'all are Patreon pledges in here, thank you so much. Any of y'all have been donated. Thank you so much. Any of y'all did super chat in here. Thank you so much, because it goes towards everything that I'm telling you about. Cash App donations, and when we have lectures, events, fundraisers, fellowships, we take cash donations as well. All right, well, let me leave that up there so you can see real quick. So again, I'm telling y'all what we're doing. This is how you want to know how you guys making money. This is how we raise money. We get earned revenue, and then we also get contributions. And membership dues will go towards contributions because it's a donation, right? And at the end of the year or the next year, you get tax write-off if you make enough. Now, what I learned for doing taxes this year, they've raised the amount that you actually have to donate in order to get some kind of benefit, which is ridiculous. It's really crazy. The new administration, political administration did that, but y'all can go and research that so you can see what I'm talking about. So now, our last 2 slides, what are our goals? We have intrinsic goals and extrinsic goals, all right? Just like when you read the 10 Commandments, the first 4 is towards the Most High, the other 6 is towards your fellow neighbor. 10 Commandments, first 4 towards the Most High, doing your part, due diligence, homage to the Most High. The last 6, doing your due diligence and your part towards your neighbor. So with this, we said goals have to be intrinsic and extrinsic, right? Because if people don't see, okay, what are you trying to do? What are you trying to accomplish? They're not going to get behind it, especially if they're not in alignment with it, right? We reconstruct and restore culture back to our community to receive the blessings in Deuteronomy 28, 1-15. We're still in captivity. Yes, we're probably never going to run the country. We're not concerned with that. We're concerned with the amount of breathing room we have between now to when Yah has to come back.
Amen.
Because some of y'all still got bills. Y'all still got responsibilities. Y'all complain about Trump, but you ain't trying to put one of us somewhere so that way we can actually do stuff locally and enact benefits and changes. But y'all want to complain all the time. I have a problem with a person complaining one time. But the second time you complain to me and don't have a solution, I have a problem. Because the first time you complain to me, I'm going to hear it out. Then I'm going to say, okay, let's work on a solution. So then I'm going to show you, when you have a problem, this is how you bring forth a solution. I got to train you. The best thing you can give to somebody in need is an opportunity. People think it's money, it's a handout. No, they'll spend that. If you give them an opportunity, this will really show if they're serious about their condition and they want to get better. Okay? Raise capital. That's important. You need to raise capital. So when we raise capital, why? We want to provide employment. We want to give people jobs, do the services. We have 2 people that's doing it as a full-time job, and they're making money. You know, I do a lot of the work on the back end until we get somebody to actually do it, but they're making money on the side. Just for providing services that they can get involved in. Nobody gave them the opportunity. I said, look, I don't care what your resume is. Do you have a will to serve the people of Yah? Yes, all right. Here's an opportunity. If you're really trying to make money, here's an opportunity. And with that money, you can start a business, do whatever you want to do. I don't care. But here's an opportunity. Provide free services. When we provide free assessment and consultation, that means somebody's doing that work and that effort. But when we're able to raise capital, it goes towards replacing that energy, effort, and time that somebody's putting in. Establish more community improvement programs. There's a lot of things that's in your local community that people lobby for that we don't know about. But we can create them and get the whole Israelite community behind it. But you have to raise money in order to do that. Okay? Make investments to provide security for future events. This is extremely important. If you know Yah's going to judge America, what investments that you have to protect you in the midst of that? Because if you got to rely just on your community, are you going to get everything you need? So you have to raise capital to provide certain elements so that way when Yah's judging the nation, when we are autonomous, we only have to go to each other. We have the resources right there. Whatever it may be. So this is why we need to raise capital. And to become an angel investment entity for Israelite endeavors, this is important. I have a music artist right there. I have somebody that has a board game right there. I don't know. Some of y'all, all of y'all may be doing other stuff. What is an angel investor?
I mean, angel investors, VC investors, they invest in your business. They're like small investors for small business.
Or they could be individuals.
Yeah.
So what an angel investor is, if you have an endeavor, you ever seen that show Shark Tank?
Yeah.
Right? That's what that is. That's an angel investment firm or individual that says, look, tell me your idea. Okay, I like it. Here's some money. Do we have that in our community? No. You got to raise money in order to be able to do that. So what we want to do is give grants when people have ideas without them having to pay nothing back. How do you get people out of debt? Well, you don't go get a loan that puts you in debt. You get a grant. When you get a grant, it's a gift. You don't pay back. So if he wanted to do your card game, we should have $20,000. So here you go. Every other ethnic block, they do this. This is why they're fine. Somebody want to open up 7-Eleven. East Indians say, yo, we just collected a pot for you. Here's your turn. There you go. Open it up. There's your franchise. Then they get in the pot for the next person. Next person, we ain't got that. You have to raise capital and manage money properly, meaning that can't be afraid to let people see the ledger, to see what's coming in and what's going out. So when we have administrators, we try to have bookkeepers or teach people how to be bookkeepers to make sure that no funds are going or being allocated where it's not supposed to go, because we should have money, at least $1,000 if he's saying, look, I got something I want to do. All right, what's your business plan? Show us the business plan, your projections, all of that. If you don't know how to do that, we'll teach you how to do that. It's not that difficult. And we give you $5,000. Here you go. Where'd you get this money? Well, we raised it. We found a way to raise it, and now we just want to give it to you so that you can make this go somewhere. If we have more of these in our community, nobody would be in debt. It would be so easy to be an entrepreneur and everything because we have it. When somebody's giving money, I want to know if I'm going to give you some money, I want to see tangible results. Where is it going? Because if I don't see where it's going, I'm just putting it in your pocket. So you're going to be like, yo, Divine, are you getting any money out of this? If I get any money out of this, it's going to be in the charter so you know exactly maybe 30% that Divine gets from whatever. And why is he using these funds? What is he actually doing? So that way he can justify why he's getting his funds. That's why we have a charter, because I am limited by the charter. You create a charter. Doesn't matter what, I started the organization, that's fine. But if I'm not doing the right thing, you can impeach me. Get him out of here. Why? Because I have to be held accountable. When you're a leader, something has to hold you accountable. If you're part of an organization, Israelite organization, they ain't got a charter where it says, look, whoever's the leader, this is what he can and he can't do. This is what his role is. This is what and if he's not doing none of this, he got to be voted out. You got to go.
That's Israelite culture.
There you go.
You get to call each other.
You have to. So that's the thing. So the charter does is that it limits power. Yes, Divine, you the founder. Yes, you the main overseer. But look, we all know the charter, and you did A, B, and C. So we're gonna call you on that. And I'm not afraid of that, right? Because that keeps your ego in check. That keeps your spending limits. Yo, y'all saw Israelite Church of God in Christ? Israelite Church in Jesus Christ, I think it is. $5.3 million gone. The Comforter. You know Tazazia?
Yeah.
He got $5.3 million. How the hell did he get $5.3 million? If y'all raising that just for the money he took off the top, y'all making some serious bread.
Real.
But yet there's still problems in the community y'all live in. Where's that happening? I don't see any programs to become an angel investment. I don't see any securities. I don't see anything as far as providing free services, where's this stuff at? If you give me $5.3 million, none of you gotta work a day in your life. Because I can show you how to flip that by using this model. Because that's what autonomy is, not just us as a collective, but you as an individual. You have to be self-sustaining. And that's what we want to help you to do. This is stuff that is in our culture, but we're not applying it. So we just want to train you on how to do this so we can work collectively to do that. And we don't care where you go to worship at, what camp. We don't care about that. We just want the next step. What is your end game? I ask congregations this all the time. What's your end state? They have no clue. They have not even planned it that far. We just awake. That's it. We want to tell the people to wake up. All right. They're waking up to what? Just to wake somebody else up, and then what? Nothing's changing. But if we see what the ancestors were doing when they were in captivity, when they was waking each other up, they were doing something and getting results. You can't just wake somebody up to nothing, because they're going to go back to sleep.
They're waking them up to Deuteronomy 28.
The curses, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, wake you up. You in the curses. Damn, I'm keeping Torah. It's okay. Yah's going to redeem you, so why even keep the Torah then? I shouldn't even, there's no benefit. If there's no benefit, after some time, people are going to run out of steam and they're just going to give it up.
Yeah.
If you keep them proactive, what's the difference between active and proactive? What's the difference between being active and proactive?
It's like you plan ahead. Yeah.
There you go. So I'll give you an example. So in our community, police brutality. Cop go shoot, kill somebody. Activists, let's march. You go march, do. A year later, somebody else gets shot and killed. What you do? Active, there you go. So proactive, you put preventive measures in place to ensure that that doesn't happen again. But if you're complaining about somebody getting shot and killed, but you have Israelites in the city, who's where? Are you in politics? I'm not going to make you feel bad because you're in politics and you're an Israelite. No. Stay there, and we're going to get behind you, Torah-centered culture, outlook on whatever you're doing, so that way if something happens to me, I can call you. If you're a lawyer, like two of my friends in Atlanta, they're lawyers. They're Israelites. Something happens to me, I'm calling them. Why do I need to call a white Jewish lawyer to do something?
Absolutely.
And you wishing he gonna tell the judge the right thing. If you're an Israelite as a lawyer, you encourage them. I've seen a lot of times we discourage people for their regular jobs in our community when that is the stuff, unbeknownst to them, that's preparing them to do ministry work. But because you don't give them the opportunity to do that, they shame what they do and they don't want to tell you what they do. That's crazy. How can we become autonomous when we don't even praise the hard work that you do in your day job and say, look, even if you don't want to do this job no more, that's a skill we can use and you can train somebody else.
Right.
We don't think like that. Okay, let me get through it. Establish partnerships with other organizations with similar goals. Establish an HMO. I'll be real quick on that. One of the long-term goals we're trying to accomplish within the next 5 years or so is create an HMO. Do y'all know what HMO is? What's the HMO? What does it stand for? The acronym.
Health management organization.
There you go. So what I realize, again, I'm just think tanking. Look, there is no insurance payment or insurance, any kind of way for you to get your money back when you put your claim in for naturopathic and alternative medicine. When you want to go to somebody who's a nutritionist, a naturopathic doctor, somebody that does acupuncture, whatever, the HMO is like, oh, that's not covered. And you're like, okay, I guess I'm stuck with whatever treatments the doctor want to do, surgeries, or whatever. We want to create an HMO that when you pay into it, it covers these services. It could be a supplementary, or you can have it as a fully fledged one. But the purpose of us doing is that we tell people that you look at insurance wrong. People think insurance is I go to the doctor several times a month or a year, whatever, it's fine. No. Insurance is just in case. The doctor's job is to train you how to stay out. So what we do is we change, everybody that signs up for this, if they're a doctor, we say, look, this is how we're going to reward you. You bring as many people in as you can and keep them out. If they keep coming back to you, you're not doing your job. Now, that's a totally different way to think it because they should only come to you in the event of. Not, oh, I just got to come and see my doctor because I feel like this is hurting, that hurt. He should train you while you're there and teach you basic nutrition. Teach you, okay, if you have this issue, that issue, you shouldn't have to go online and do it. Your doctor should give you everything. So we want to give them bonuses for the amount of people they take in, the amount of people they keep out. That's totally different. But we need to raise capital and have people supporting so we can have things like this. That, to me, that's a huge endeavor because that's beneficial to almost everybody in here. All right? Establish municipal corporations. I went over that. Establish a safe haven hub for Israelites not connected with others and need assistance. It bothers me so much when I hear Israelites in the city say, look, I don't know nobody. And I need help. That's the worst thing. I don't know nobody and I need help. I don't know if some of you in here have been in that situation. I've been in that situation a few times. It is not good. When they hear KHM, they should know, look, this is someplace I could go and connect with other people and get assistance. But what they also have to know is if you're coming to get help, we're going to give you an opportunity to help yourself. And if you can't do that, you don't need to come to me no more. Because if you really are strong-willed enough about your condition, you will change it. But if you've only been enabled all your life, and people just gave to you but never tell you, look, once I give this to you, it has to be attached to an opportunity. Look, I'm going to give you $20 to invest it here to make more money. We have a program, join a program. Let me see how hungry you are to support your current financial condition and see where it takes you. I'm not going to sit here and pat you like it's okay. No, I'm going to make you a go-getter. Here, do something with it. You're serious about it? Do something with it. And that's what we want to do, provide those opportunities for people that need it. to create and govern a network of resources for community autonomy. Everybody has a skill, trade, business, whatever you do. We don't have a network that we can go somewhere and see it. Now, one brother, Michael Israel, he tried it. It's called the Brew Lane. And when I had my website up back in 2015, I had something on there where everybody has a job, a trade, a skill, a business, organization, service. It was a directory of our community that you can go on, click on, type in what you need, and somebody's name will come up. Call them and work with them and take care of whatever the issue is that you have. No matter when it could be plumbing, electricity, it could be you need a lawyer, whatever it is, the network is there to do it. The resource is there to sustain that. And if you need the help, it's in your city. It's readily accessible. So this is our goals. This is what we want to do, right? And the last thing, y'all already doing this, to awaken and prepare our community for Yah's soon to come kingdom. This place is going to be taken out, as well as other nations. But before then, we want to make sure that when we are autonomous or self-governing, doesn't matter how he judges anybody else. When the Israelites was in Mizraim and they went back to Goshen, no judgments was touching them. But the Egyptians were getting judged. But they was amongst themselves. They sustained themselves. They was given instructions on how to sustain themselves so the judgments don't affect them. Do we have that today? If they take out the financial system, what are the instructions that you're getting from Yah so you can sustain yourself and your family? These are just things to think about by looking at the track record of our ancestors. And we want to bring that to the forefront, all right? Last slide and we done. I'm going to let y'all go because it's almost at that time. How does this benefit me? Now, this stuff sounds good. It looks good. You're going to say, how does that benefit me directly? What's in it for me? And you got to be honest. This is how people think. You could give them a big idea. Show me got resources, raising money, we doing this. They're like, that's good, but what's in it for me? What does that say? So what's in it for you is we want to give free healthcare to everybody that's part of our organization, everybody that supports our organization. When we established Naturopath To Eden's HMO, I know several people that live in Canada, they got free health insurance. I'm like, you got free healthcare? Yeah, we got free, we don't pay for healthcare. What's that? Unless you want something additional, but standard healthcare, it covers everybody. We don't have that in our community. That, to me, if you're thinking about that, that's kind of crazy that we don't have that. But we can create it. Whatever you don't have, you can make. And you be thinking like, no, that's not possible. Okay, let's put our heads together and we're going to show you how you can do it. We want to be able to offer that, but we need help to get it to that point so we can offer that, right? Now, mind you, we still have the services that we can do to give you an interim, but this is one of the benefits we want you to have when you join the organization. We want you to also be able to receive employment through our organization so you can earn revenue while doing your kingdom work. So it has to be a type of peace of mind that when you work for an organization, if something happens to you, you're taken care of. I'm not there yet with the organization. I'm getting there. But I want to know if something happens to me, like, because I still work, because I don't believe in fleecing the people. So I still work hard for what I earn, so that way this revenue, I don't have to touch it, right? So what I'm saying is, you should be able to know, look, if anything happens to me, or if I choose to, I can get employed through this organization. So I'm already doing y'all's kingdom work. Some jobs, you can't wear fringes. Some jobs, you got to cut your beard. Hey, if you're working for us, you ain't got to do none of that. Because that's part of the culture, and we want to be able to provide employment. So somebody comes to me today and say, yo, I ain't got a job, I need some money. Well, I got these programs here, you can work it and make money. I want to be able to just say, hey, look, do this, do that, and you can make as much money as you want. That's it. I'm not asking you for nothing up front. I'm not saying you got to sign the paperwork here, and you need $800 up front. You can start any of these things for free. You ain't got to pay anything. And we give you $10 for the credit repair and $20 for naturopath. We give you that money just for signing up. So we're taking a loss on you because you can change your mind tomorrow, but we're giving you some kind of monetary incentive to say, okay, look, damn, I didn't have to pay nothing. You gave me $10 or $20 for free just to do something that I need already. Where do I sign up? So we're thinking about different ways that we can do things right. You understand what I'm saying? Become debt-free through our Jubilee Manumission program. That's another benefit that you can take part of. Access to a network of in-house Israelite resources. So we want to be able to provide that network because if you need anything in your city, we can find somebody that does it or somebody that knows somebody that does it, and you can go directly to them because they keep Torah, and they know they bound to it, and you know you can get the help that you need. We want to provide that network for you. Now, we have people that do a lot of things in KHM, but we need more people. If you need a lawyer, we got that. You need somebody who's a physician, we got that. Now, it may not be in your city, but you can call and speak to them for consultation, right? And they can give you an idea of what to do, at least in your city. We want to provide that, so when you're a part of the organization, you get access to that, right? Oh, man, I hit the wrong... There we go. All right. To have a devoted and proactive team assisting you as you change your community's condition. I don't want nobody to feel like, man, I want to change some things, but I don't have nobody to help. You ain't got to worry about that no more. Enjoy dynamic fellowships with like-minded Israelites at our various national events. We're going to be doing way more events this year, next year, going forward. But we only want these fellowships to be with people that think like this. So you can talk about small talk. Hey, how's the kids? And hey, what are you doing your job? Hey, did you watch this video? But once that's done, all right, so now the real reason why we're here, how are we going to fix the problem in the city? What do you know that's going on that Israelites can get involved in and we can be at the forefront of change? So that way, wherever we walk, when the scripture says that the reason why Yah didn't destroy Israel is because they had his name. He surnamed them. His name is his character. Shem. Shem means your character. That means when people see you, they see Yah. When people need something to go to Yah, they can go to you because you represent Yah. Does it work like that with y'all? If not, then when we have these fellowships, we can talk small talk, but everybody knows why we're there, and we got to get something done after we disperse. That's important. Because I've been to church functions, pastor do a sermon, we go eat, talk about small talk, and we go home to the same problems we had before we got into church. Ain't nothing get fixed. Issues in your city, issues with your car breaking down, nobody talking about it. Everybody says, oh, God is good and I'm good. No. Tell me what's really going on. What you need. How can we help? Okay, yeah, you can say God is good. That's fine. But he can only be good through his people. He uses people to get things done. If you need something, you need to have a safe haven where you can share it. Nobody will judge you. Everybody get behind you and they'll help support it because your need is not just you, but you're representative of the need in your community. So if you need it, many other people in your community need it too. So how we help you, we create a model behind it, a template, and we apply it with everybody else who may come to us with that same problem. That's how you get it done. Learn more about restorative culture through proper research and application. That's optional. That's if you follow the stuff that I share or whatever. But I like to talk about restorative culture. The things that our ancestors were doing, how can we take that and apply it today so we can yield the results? If you're unable to get results, doing something. If you pray about something and you don't get no results, it's either Yah's not listening to you or you doing the wrong thing. So if our ancestors prayed and they got an answer, like for example, easy example, Daniel prayed. How long did it take for him to get that prayer answered? When that messenger came to him and Michael had to fight somebody on behalf of the messenger to get to him, he came to him and said, look, the first day you prayed, we heard it. But we had to fix some things, fight some battles for you to bring you your answers. So do we have that much power that when we entreat Yah, when we put up an appeal before a judge? See, when we think about prayer, we think about it in a Western sense. Praying aimlessly until something happens. No. How many of y'all been in court before? How many of y'all actually did an appeal before? Do you know what the appeal process is? That's what prayer is. The reason why people pray is because your faith behind a situation is already meted out. This is what's supposed to happen based on a consequence, on an action that you did. This is what's supposed to happen. Right. This is the judgment. And what you're doing is you're asking the judge, hey, judge, can you overturn that because of A, B, and C? So when you learn in the earthly realm, which Yah established these nations to do these things, how are we doing that towards Yah to get something that's repeatable? James says, you have not because you ask not. But then he goes on to say, because the thing that you ask for is what? To spend it on your passions and your desires. You get examples on what to do. When Daniel prayed, he had to fast, and he had a particular way he fasted because he needed a word for his people. Not just himself. There's methods to the madness that people look in the text and, oh, that guy's crazy. No, there's a method behind it because he got results. He didn't have to sit and just wait for something to happen. He knew it was going to happen because he knew what to do. Right? Be on the cutting edge of Israelite innovation, targeted towards applying Torah in the community. I want to be part of an organization that I know they are at the forefront of change, no matter where it's at, so we don't stay complacent, we don't stay stagnant, but when people look at us, they look for the cutting edge. How you above all other nations when you look like all other nations, or you're lower than all the other nations? Why would anybody want to come to you for anything? How are we standing out? This is extremely important. Learn how to become an asset for a cause greater than yourself. This is the key word. Are you, and I did a lecture on this, is your lot an asset or a liability? Because if you're not a liability, then chances are you're an asset. If you're not an asset, chances are you're a liability. We don't want people to be in a state of liability. We want you to be an asset. A lot of times people don't even know that they can be an asset because nobody has taken time to talk to them to see what they're good at, what they can do, what they can offer, what you can contribute. When somebody says to me, man, there's nothing I can do, I say, well, what inspires you to come and tell me that? Because I know that you can help me. There you go. They say, well, there's a will, there's a way. So if you have a will and you want to know the way, I'll point you to the way, I'll equip you, but what you do is on you. That's between you and your creator, but you can never say nobody gave you the tools and point you in the direction, because that's what we're going to do. So we want you to be an asset, not just for yourself. Torah is not about you. When you look at all, if you parse out all the statutes and commandments, most of them is how you deal with your fellow brother or sister, and your accountability when you do something wrong. Not cast blame. When somebody says, oh, I had this situation and that person, I said, whoa, if you started off with that person, something's wrong. Because even if you didn't do nothing wrong, there's still a role that you play to enable something. So you have some responsibility somewhere, all right? Learn how to be set apart through autonomy and preparation of Yazarah. We went over that, and that is it. So what I just laid out for you guys is, and somebody can turn the light on real quick as we're done, and we can wrap up. What I did for y'all is give you what our purpose is and how we actually fulfill that purpose and how the immediate benefits can go to you. And like I said, everybody that's here can get access to the slide, to this video, but I want you to consider what we're sharing, because I appreciate everybody coming out for tonight. Y'all all had your reasons to come out. Some people thought I was just doing a lecture on something. I said, no, I'm not doing a lecture. This is about organizing. Lecture is good, but when you leave, you still got problems. How are we fixing the problems in our community, right? So I want you guys to take this information. If you're serious about it now, we can sign you up. If you're not serious, you need some time, that's fine. I tell people all the time, before you commit to something, look it over. Because you may think it sounds good, but then you look at it and say, you know what, that sounds good, but I just can't do it right now. Be honest with yourself. We're not telling you you're going to make $1 million. We're not telling you anything fanciful to get you to sign up. We're telling you what it is. We're showing you what it is. And if it's something that you want to do, so when people know you as an Israelite, they see the change, you can get behind something. And that's it. If you have a question or two, let me know. Otherwise, I can just dismiss everybody formally, and then we can go break out in the lobby. Does anybody have any questions, any comments, any concerns, any advice for me about this? Anything?
Man, this was good. I just want to say that because it definitely is needed. It's a lot of complacency. A lot of people feel like you said, why do this if we can't be perfect? So this is the key thing. When he said be perfect, I'm perfect. You know what I'm saying? So it's be set apart. And people don't take the chance to even, like I said, people say they're hungry, and you're like, I'm praying for you. Don't feed that brother. You know what I'm saying? So this is what's truly going on. Even before I came to the truth, I was in that mindset like, how can I change instead of marching? Ain't no marching to a book. So this is why I like different things. Everybody thinks just the Truth of Y'all board game, but I got an academy on the way. It's called Transform the Fifth Generation Academy. And the Truth of Y'all is going to set it up. I used to have a trucking company.
Wait. Say that again. This is what people need to hear. You use one thing to pay for something else.
Yes.
But what if somebody gave you the thing for the one thing first that you didn't have to pay out your pocket? You can come to us. We give you $20,000. You ain't got to worry about all the startup costs behind that initial investment.
And then what he was saying earlier about angel investment, and it's also VC investors.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a table. So I put up on live a few weeks ago. What are they doing to us? They're putting us in stuff like this, and it's like 10 Jewish people, whoever, and they buying your idea. So my academy was offered. I got offered $4 million for my academy from Jacksonville. It's called Small Business Funds, and it's these people. They find all they do is find you VC angel investors, and they buy your product.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't see no brother or Hebrew brother that did this. It was another nation, and they wanted to change my academy, and they wanted to do different things in it. I wanted to be closed on Shabbat, open every other day, just like Chick-fil-A, I kind of did that, and my academy was open for the Walmart Associates because if you look in the Walmart Associates, it's for anybody, but also it's gonna be catering to them because it's the urban area. So they knew this, they loved the idea, and I was showing Walmart, basically because I was store manager. I showed them why they need me because you see now they getting robots. It's because they cannot. The social not doing their job, and also after 4 o'clock, you always go in and talk live at 5. Why the line so long? Daycare's closing. I'm not gonna be closed on that. Now we opening and we're gonna please your eyes because I understand how to help Walmart. So it was real. I was wise with all praise to the Most High. And again, that's why I like Moses. And then with the truth of Yah, like 3 weeks ago, they offered to buy me out, and I couldn't agree to. I can't say what company I had to sign a paper on that, but they said I can't make any more value value to the truth of Yah, but it was gonna set me right. But if I think not for the people, it was like it'd have been a wrap, and also for generational wealth. I understand what I have, and I understand like the Most High allowed this to come. Like the Most High allowed me to get this, so I can go out and help people. Because I started the Most High Express, was a trucking business. Anybody got a truck, drive trucks? I got you. I can give you some info. But this is different things the Most High was bringing me through. But the truth, the Most High Express, that was my own mind. That one of Yah. I just did that for myself, and it shouldn't have been like that. I put a lot of money into it, but it wasn't for the Most High. It was kind of the trucking business is dirty. It's wicked. You can't serve the Most High in that business. I'm trying to tell you. If you're a broker, I was a broker. But like I said, long story short, that's like what he's doing is awesome. And like I said, I've been trying to reach him. Shay Michael, the guy you saw in the picture, man, I was doing a live. I'm going to start an affiliate group. Basically, people share my game, and like he said, people want something. So my whole understanding, if you want to share my game, I create an affiliate group. You share the link. Anybody buy your link, you get $5 per game. So it's like, hey, you sell 100 games through this link, it's $500 extra and whatnot. And to be honest, I'm in the $1 billion industry. If y'all understand the toy industry, the game industry, $1 billion industry, really probably $1 trillion. I'm in the $1 billion industry where y'all has blessed me with. And again, I was in the Pharaoh house. I was up with the Jewish people, and they told me everything. I understand gold. I got currency. If anything, when you get gold back, I'm gonna be a billionaire. But these are certain things I'm gonna help. This how I'm gonna help the kingdom. And this is why I want to get with brothers like this. And me and him trying to do this in Tampa too, but it's nobody, like I just saw him in Tampa, it's nobody to really talk to.
About this, you can find Israelites, but they're not talking like this.
They're not talking.
That's the problem.
And this is why, like, people mindset, they don't have a circumcised. They have a circumcised their hearts. They don't have a sober ear. They don't do anything like these. They whole mindset is commandments.
There you go.
Okay, now what?
Now what?
So, like, and then like, I always have to say I'm 28. Like, I always have to say it to other brothers because it's like, who you think you is? Like, man, look, hey, I've been doing this. I'm an elder when it comes to business. Line them up. That's how I line. Who else you want to line? Like businesses. I do this. I love numbers. I can look at some. If somebody tell me a vision you got, I can plan the whole business for you in like 24 hours. Literally, I can search everything. I searched since all the way back like 1969. The first one of the first biblical board games, but it wasn't really biblical. And I searched all the way back to now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it was nothing. It's nothing compared to this. It's the first ever biblical board game designed like this. And then most I had me search these certain things and. This is what I do, you know what I'm saying? So this is why all praises, bro, what you got going on. And y'all can be behind you.
Just so you know, we're coming to Tampa as well this summer. So we'll be in Tampa, but we're in Orlando right now. And if y'all want to come to Orlando and help, go to Tampa and help, that's on y'all. But we want to know that we want people like that who are assets, and if you don't know how to be one, we want to create them. Right? So I never want to hear, I can't do it. I'm like, what you mean? You showed up. That's the first step. When somebody says, look, we're going to change the community, you showed up. If you just show up, then we can help you with the rest. Right? So anybody else got a question, comment before we go?
I think what you're saying is very important, too, when you're operating in your gift that the Most High is giving you. Because a lot of times, you want people to believe in what you're doing, but you're not doing that. You see what I'm saying? And so, and the thing about it is, and just as a testimony, like, I do music. And so, believe it or not, the industry has called me about my music.
Yep.
It's just certain things I just want to do, you know what I mean? But even that, I've had other millionaires call me about, the music also. And I even have a guy right now that's trying to buy a whole city in Oregon for $14 million. Said, man, I need you to teach me everything and da-da-da-da-da.
You see that?
His mindset is not right. You see what I'm saying? So, believe it or not, the Most High is testing me bad. Because in the world, he tested me with people with stupid money. So now I'm in the truth, and they still see that. But they know that I'm different now. But now to them, it looks like I'm just this big old sun shining. Like And they really trying to like make some serious money.
And that's the thing.
You know what I mean?
Is,
just gotta
are
do
you
work.
are you a light to the nation? Are they coming to you? He said, look, I'm gonna tell you why you need me. If you hit as Israel in your city, let me tell you why you need me. And we have the game plan.
Right.
Like, look, this is it. If something goes up, there's some audibles you could do. Like, we have the game plan. But are people coming to us for that game plan? Are they just coming to us to be awoken, and then that's it?
Right.
But yet you bang on churches. Some churches provide services, provide donations. When people need money, they get. What about Israelites? Where's our institutions and organizations that we have that's doing the same thing? How can you bang on the church when you have nothing else to offer besides you awake?
Right.
You got the truth. That's it. Okay, well, they're about to repo my car, man. You know, I've been helping you out. Can you give me something? Because if not, I went to that church right there. They're going to donate something to me.
Yeah.
We got to be that institution. So when Israelites wake up, we have a whole network. And I'll say this last thing. How many of y'all saw The Matrix in here?
All of them.
And I use the example a lot.
Like 90 times.
Yeah. That's one of my favorite movies, right? But there's a scene where they go to wake Neo up, right? So they reach him in the Matrix first to get him to see the real world. But what happened after they woke him up? So he touched the glass and it was like, oh, so to go on him and it's, oh, he's going to shock. And then he wakes up in real life and sees the machines. He disconnects himself from the machines. The machines see that and they treat him as an outcast. They flush him away. But then what happens? They pick him up and take him to Zion. Where's our Zion? You don't have no mini Zions here. So when you wake somebody up and they listen, they watch your video. Oh, you know what? I need to stop doing A, B, and C, and they disconnect from that. And then now they got to live life very difficult because you ain't providing no resources behind just waking them up.
His first question was, I can't go back here.
There you go.
That's what they want to do, go back.
That's it. Because there's nothing else there. You understand? It stops right there, and there's nothing else behind that. So what we're doing is we're creating that behind it thing so you can continue to wake people up, but then have something to give them after you wake them up. We have to provide because otherwise you might as well stay a Christian. You might as well say whatever else you're doing because you can get more from this system than you can get from Israelites. You get more for being a Christian than being an Israelite. And I know I had to struggle being an Israelite, stopping to do a whole bunch of other stuff and didn't get no support. So I said, you know what? Let me create that support system so I ain't got to complain about it no more or nobody else has a reason to complain. Because if they tell me they need something, I said, look, I have this. And and this is the thing how I learned how people are smart and intelligent. If I give somebody an idea, a smart person will take the idea that I did, remember it, repeat what I did, and get results. An intelligent person will take what I give them and find another use for the idea that I provided them. For example, if I give you a fork and say, look, this fork right here can help you to eat food. Take the fork, you stick it, eat food. So, oh, that's great. I can use it with this, and that. So then I'll use a fork. Give it to another person, they use the fork, and then I come back, they say, oh, you know what I did? I created a tuning fork. Let me show you other things you can do with this tool that you gave me. And then show me what else they could do with it. You know what I'm saying? I can set up a trap and catch fish with it. Look, because the way it's angled, I'm like, oh, that's how you know the person's intelligent. And intelligence doesn't mean they're better than anybody else. It's that they think outside the box because they want to find more ways to solve a problem.
Serving with 10 talents.
There you go. And we have enough scripture to learn how to solve almost any problem that comes our way. But are we doing that? All right. So with that, I'm going to leave you with that. If anybody's interested in the organization, we can sign you up now. We have a database program called One Church. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before, but it's an application for small churches, medium-sized churches, so that you can keep a database of the people that's part of the church. And we can track everything. We have to send you an email, send you a text if you opt for it. Or your birthday comes up, Earth Day comes up, and we want to actually have a fellowship in lieu of your Earth Day, or we want to be able to give you a gift for all the support and work that you've been doing. We have a way to track all of that in our own database, right? If you're not sure, that's fine. Keep it to yourself. Say thank you for the information. Go look it over at home. If y'all here, you'll reach out to me. Reach out to me again and say, look, I'm interested. If you're not, you don't have to hit me back, or you can say, look, just right now, I'm not ready. There's no pressure. But we just want to say to you that even if you opt out, I don't want to hear you complain about something going on in Atlanta. I don't want you to complain something going on in Tampa. Because I gave you an opportunity. So I'm going to go on your social media. So wait, this the person said that they didn't want to join the organization, but they're complaining about stuff going on in Orlando. Ah, okay. I see. But they was given an opportunity. Right. So that's all I'm going to leave you with. Thank you for coming out, man. I appreciate everybody. So like I said, Right now, our time is up.